Oh, hello, guys. Oh, I'm so sorry for my tardiness. I'm so sorry, guys. There's a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm always so happy to have you guys. Happy Monday, fun day. I'm just like putting this little disclaimer here on the chat real quick. Wait, let me see if my chat box is still on the visible. Oh, I gotta put it like over. So then there you go. So then you guys can see that. So how we liking the new setup? I'm kind of loving it too. Surprise, surprise. Thank you guys so much always for voting. This was basically it was between this cottage house or another one, and you guys picked this one. And honestly, I was so inspired and yeah, I thought it was super funny just because I look at this, like this new setup, and then like what I had before, and it's like, oh my gosh, like like that meme where it's like the upgrade button, like it's like night and day. So thank you guys so much. So on today's stream, well, I'm actually open to requests for the first 30 minutes. I'm actually gonna put like a little timer here. Just give that little comment that I have there on the side a little read if you guys um, wish to. Oh, I actually can move everything around because, oh my gosh, before, I guess because I would like share my screen in total, I had to like be careful that certain parts like didn't bump into each other. But I guess since we already have this setup here, I don't gotta worry about that no more. Ooh, I do like this. Um, but yeah, I'm just going to put a timer here just because I most likely won't be able to get to everyone's request since like the stream is for an hour, but I don't want to discourage you guys. Basically, to like sum up what I put in the chat in case you um, like are wondering like when you watch this later, you're like, whoa, what does all that big block say? So basically, when I open up a request, they're gonna be open up for the first 30 minutes. And in case, basically, I'll do them in order. Especially if you guys are taking the time to hop onto the stream and put your request. I don't want to like, you know, number one, ignore anybody's request, but also like not take away from the people who got here first. So in case I don't get to your request, like let's say if you're the third or the fourth, what I'll do is then I'll record it in my little um, handy dandy notebook right here, and I'll make sure to um, get to it by the next stream. So then hopefully we'll get to everybody's requests. But yeah, I'll definitely post them onto my Instagram too. So then you guys will see it basically drawn here on stream, and then you can see your post. And what I can do is I'll tag you onto it, or if let's say you don't have an Instagram and you would want to like see the picture, you can just message me here on Twitch, and then I'll send you that picture. But yeah, honestly, like the warm ups and stuff really help me out. Just because, like, especially for my painting hand, like for me, like sketching and stuff, like warms that up. So I always do love getting you guys, and you guys like always have like the coolest requests too. So I'm always happy to oblige. But if this is sometimes it's really early in the morning or super late for you guys, um, I'll just basically stick to my mushroom. So, yes, wait, just one sip of liquid energy. Excuse me. I made myself like a whole pot of espresso, which you can do. Basically, it's like a whole like little tin of espresso, and that's basically what I need today. Because for whatever reason, I just woke up super sleepy. Mind you, I was beyond my bedtime of like 10 o'clock, because I'm usually out by 8. So, yeah, you can tell I still watch like uh, cozy TV and true crime shows because I am an old lady. Um, but yeah, so you guys voted also on my Instagram what today's subject is going to be,
which is super funny because I just, oh, let me know too if like my mic is okay, if like we're all looking good. Sorry, I always like jump on to these streams like super pumped and excited, and then I completely neglect to see if you guys hear me. Oh, also if you hear like clinging and clanging, um, like my husband is super sweet. He's basically staying for the long weekend since it's Memorial Weekend, and he is super sweet and using his time off to build our new desk for the room. So basically, I have this whole area, um, like like this little corner, basically in our room, like just for my art stuff. But I always have to like dismantle it and like put it away, just because I'm pushing his keyboard and like half of his mouse stuff and his gaming stuff and his Xbox controller into the corner, and then I set up all my stuff. And especially now that I have um, this stuff now, with like the paints and things like that, he was super sweet and is going to set up basically a table of my own, so then I can basically be chaotic on a 24-hour basis. So, which is super great because actually that'll allow me to do all this stuff ahead of time and then like keep it that way instead of uh, having to like spend like an hour before stream setting everything up. Or if it's like today where everything like went haywire, like literally the last 15 minutes. And so I was like, oh no, I don't have time to pick the colors or anything. So don't mind me if you see static or anything like this, like where I'm not like moving my hands at all because I'm just basically picking my crayons. My, like, literally, doesn't this look like a candy box? So pretty. But yes, basically, as I'm picking my colors, I'm gonna use basically like um, searching up a color palette really quick. But as I do that, tell me, guys, how is everything on your end? I hope you're having a great week. Please express to me how y'all are doing out there. I'm just super happy that on Instagram, like, you guys are really liking the whole goblins and ghouls thing. I'm putting it on my post now. My artistic goblins and ghouls. Oh, and also you guys are like such beasts like with your challenges lately. What are you guys doing? Are you guys like plotting? Oh yes, and also I'm definitely looking into making a Discord soon, so definitely tune in for that because I had a couple people ask me that this week, so we're definitely looking into that, guys. So then we can all like share with each other just because I try to kind of like tag you guys and stuff, especially when you guys have similar practices, but I think it's getting to the point where I think we all need to like meet up in one place throughout the week. So we are definitely looking into that. Okay, so I know I'm probably gonna swatch a couple of these bad boys because like I have an idea, but then also I don't. Probably. I know I'm liking the bubblegum colors though. Especially we're gonna talk about something spicy today. Okay, I think it pretty much shows my palette more or less. So we shall see. I'm probably gonna like swatch it over here. I'm kind of feeling these pastel colors. I guess because I said the word bubblegum and I was like, yes, let's do that. So probably like highlight with, let me see how that reads because it always reads a little different on camera. That's more of like an orangey. Let's stick to those three. And probably, let me see, which looks better, this one or
I guess I use this for the background lately, so then I have a little bit more practice. So we shall see. I'll just keep these on the. I always have like backup colors in case they have like they're not working like the way I want, and then especially I use them in like my Dragon Ball one lately. So alrighty, we're gonna try those and then see how it goes. And then like the next mushroom I have basically on standby is like Ghibli inspired. So we're gonna do that, but I'm gonna swatch these bad boys. And while I do that, we're gonna talk about some hot tea, uh, some spicy things that happened to me over the weekend. So, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, if it's your first time here, hi. My name is Haunted Goose, and I am an educator of sorts. I teach on the interwebs. I teach a variety of courses. Like my biggest one up to date is basically uh, like English as a second language, English as a foreign language, and then also uh, for the kiddos out there, I do kind of a type of art instruction, like with um, creative writing. So for reading comprehension skills and kiddos that have uh, issues with um, reading, I kind of like help them out with some artistic programs. Um, but uh, I've been looking for something a bit more steady because I'm basically online trying to figure out time difference things, and it worked for me really well when I was back in the States because I had my part-time job as a behavioral therapist, and then I kind of went to tutoring on the side online with that, and ooh, that's so pretty. And so it worked better with the time difference just because of the website that I used. It was mostly with US based clients. So basically, it was kind of like a, I don't like to use the word a Craigslist, but it was kind of like a Craigslist of where you put your credentials and your work experience, and then especially with COVID hitting, um, like there was a more of a spike of like homeschooled um, kids that needed help with reading comprehension. So I kind of jumped on the chance, especially when they were reducing hours and stuff in my job. So I was like, well, I might as well kind of throw my hand into the ring and go from there. So I've been struggling a little bit with that um, since moving to Japan, just because of the time difference. And tell you the truth, I've only kept like one client since then, and it's uh, I do it just mostly because I've been tutoring her for that long, but um, in and of itself, if I could expand to like a more stable income, that would be awesome. And basically, as I've been doing that, I also, my first thing was definitely to find a job here, but because of where I live, the commute is much more expensive than what I would actually be earning. So I live about like an hour away from local schools and basically to the point where online is like kind of my only option to make any money if just because I tried it for the first 3 months at a local school. I was kind of stubborn and I didn't want to like face the reality of my situation. I was kind of like, no, 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 like I can at least break even. And we were just, it was just to the point since moving here, it was just not going to work out. So, my first month on the job, I had to resign just because it was so expensive to commute, not only like gas wise, but um, because of the tolls and stuff that you have to pay when driving. So, long story short, that is why I started looking into teaching online. Now, that would have been all fair and good, um, because I have experience, teaching online, and so I know what to look for uh, as far as what legit programs look like, and then what not so legit programs look like. I've been basically, as much as I've been teaching in the real world, like I've also kind of within a couple of months of starting my first job, I also started working online also. So it's kind of like I had a friend at that time who kind of took me under her wing and taught me basically how to market myself, but then also what companies to look into, because it's always good to always look into other opportunities if it's something where, especially there's different seasons where different companies, it's like any other market, they become stale, or you kind of get your regulars, but then um, if you want to possibly like look into different subjects or get training or anything like that, it's good just to poke around, and it looks really good on your resume too. Now, the thing with this is that um, it helps a lot when you kind of poke around these different websites and stuff, and you get to see a little bit of everything also, including possible scams. Now, this is what happened to me on Saturday. Um, since I've had the experience, I know exactly what questions to ask, and I was hoping, when I announced it, I was like, oh, guys, like I have this job interview, and don't worry, it's not going to mess with my scheduling because, I'll schedule things, accordingly. But unfortunately, it was just one of those things where it was a scam. So let me stop beating around in the bush and just kind of tell you guys what happened. So, cue Saturday morning. I I guess this would have been my first sign that it was a possible scam, but I wanted to at least give the benefit of the doubt of that I'm like, nah, that doesn't look too suspicious, right? Um, I did find this company, I guess, red flag number one. Not always, because there are legit businesses that advertise on Facebook, right? So I'm not saying that, because of course you're dealing with teaching online, on the internet. So of course they're going to advertise on um, like a a platform that is popular, and that's how they recruit. Now the problem isn't that it was advertised on Facebook, but where the recruiter asked for information and it stayed on Facebook. So, red flag number one, when you reach out to a recruiter for anything and there's not a business email that you can reach out to, or a website, like a separate website, that's a pretty good sign. It's probably a scam. So, that was red flag number one. But I wanted to at least kind of see the conversation through and not, just because you have, especially when you are in a different country, it's possible, just maybe, that things do function a little different from when you're back home. So, just because this was a Japanese based teaching website, or not website, but teaching program, I did not want to give them like, you know, like a hard time for asking for my resume and information on Facebook Messenger, which, just be careful with what information you do give people. Do not put your social security and phone number, and if anything, all you put in your resume is your email. And if they want more information, this is where step two comes in. So, day of the interview. This would be a Saturday. Um, so I'm talking to the scout and basically saying, hey, you know, I saw your ad. I'm pretty interested in teaching online. I have this experience and I live in this area, and I see your headquarters are here, so we're in the same time zone. Is it possible that I could get an interview? And they reached out to me, and I got the interview set up, but they didn't ask me for my credentials. They just said, "Oh yeah, sure." Like, you know, let's have an interview. And usually, there's some sort of like at least at the very minimum like a business email that they should send you or a place where you can send your resume. And then they asked me to send my resume through Facebook Messenger. And I'm just like, a little weird, but all right, like here it is. And I made sure to like not include any sensitive information or anything like that. And I asked, and it's always good. So here's step two. Um, don't put sensitive information on Facebook Messenger, number one. And number two, always ask for a contract within your interview. So my thing was, I asked them, I was like, hey, is it possible when the interview comes that uh, we talk about a contract? Usually, if a company is going to hire you, there is always, and it doesn't matter, even if it's a summer camp, even if it's uh, something that like is more casual, always, always, always ask for a contract no matter what you are technically employed, even if they said that they're going to. It's happened to a lot of my friends, even if they say that they're going to pay you in cash, even if they say that, well, our clientele is very, I've heard all of it before. Oh, thank you so much, Spee. Hi, Spee. How you doing? Thank you. It's because of you guys' lovely vote and inspiration. Oh, I just noticed I'm off center. I apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if I just saw your message too. I'm talking about how my interview was a scam. Oh, but I hope you're doing well. How are you doing, Spee? How is your weekend going? I hope you don't mind. We're doing pastel vibes. But if you want a request up here, we're doing the first. Oh, actually, I forgot to put my timer. Ooh. Oh, thank you so much, though. I did. It took me, I'm comfortably, like, you know how we started doing like the house and stuff like that? Like, I had to scrap the whole thing because it was such a mess. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna start all over again. And I'm kind of glad I did because then it just gave me the panic to. Oh boy, so it was a scam. Um, oh really? Oh my gosh, no. Is it because it broke? Like did the dock break or something? Oh no. Well, I'm glad you're safe and I hope you got what you needed. RIP Street? Oh, is it because of the late like can you not see the feed maybe? Just let me know if like you can see the. Oh yeah, even if I got the job, I wouldn't stop just because I love like I would work something out cuz basically my only options up till now are to work online just because of where I live. So it's just economically that's just where we're at right now. So either way I could work something out to that's kind of like my goal at least is just to find a job to do alongside with this, or I'm probably going to speed run uh, like a Patreon or something like that, and then kind of find rewards and stuff. So I'm gonna try and see if. Oh, okay, good. Oh, good, good, good. Sorry. Yeah, I know our that's why like the stream took a little while just because we just let me know if it's on my end, if maybe like the stream is lagging or anything like that. Yeah, we just like got our internet on and we're doing pastel vibes. Oh, but I hope like your fishing went good. Wait, let me see if but yeah, so basically the stream is about how I avoided being scammed. And I kind of wanted it to be a PSA for anybody out there who is going through a similar thing or for them to like avoid scams like this. Oh, that's great. What kind of fish were they? The I know over here like we have beaches and stuff, but they're like one of those where basically the only thing you'll catch is like a jellyfish. Oh wait, but I'll finish like the story really quick just because a lot of you guys wanted to like you guys voted for uh to like hear the details of how I almost got scammed. So, oh, I'll just do a quick. Oh no, it's okay. That's no problem. Hey, as long as they taste good, doesn't matter what they're called, right? So, okay, just to give you like the rundown of what happened. So, I reached out to this company that I saw advertised on Facebook, right? And they seemed really legit. Like, I'm telling you, they're getting better and better. So, I have experience with working on several platforms to teach online, right? And like, I felt pretty confident. I was like, oh, these people know what's up. Like, they, they're based here in Okinawa, which is like super great. Like, I don't have to worry about time difference. And if you can find like well especially with even here on the stream and stuff like the idea that you guys are up at like 5 in the morning and stuff like that hurt me. I was like, oh no, like so that's why I even changed up the times and stuff so then you guys know um so then you guys don't have like a harder time. And so I kind of went with that plan. I'm like, okay, I'll find a business that's local, blah blah blah. And I saw this one company like advertised on Facebook, and I reached out to the recruiter and I was like, "Hey, I got teaching experience. I think I'll be awesome at this job. Please give me an interview." And the first red flag I saw was that they asked for all of my information like on Facebook, like where it was like, "Oh yeah, send us our like your resume and your info on this app." There was no business email and there was no link to an official website. And so that's the first red flag where I was like, usually like if it's like a legit thing, email is always the best way to go. But at the same time, this is since I'm in a different country and there's things that are a little different from who am I to judge, right? Like that, it's a red flag, but just because I've usually dealt with like American companies, with like official emails and specific recruiters. I'm like, well, maybe this is like a small business, and who am I to like completely shun a business opportunity based on one thing, right? So I'm like, okay, kind of weird that they're asking me for all my information, like for the job, like here on Facebook Messenger, but meh, let's, I wouldn't like call that out right away. So the second thing that I thought was kind of like, hmm, was that the interview, like right before, right before I, like booked the interview like with the person, I was like, "Hey, can I look at the contract?" Because in any interview, if whether it's for teaching, whether it's for really anything, you need to know kind of what it is that you're signing up for, especially when it comes to pay. And when you're dealing with, in a lot of times, when it comes to contracting things, or like when you're dealing with client based things, uh, talk about percentages. Because, and this is where it's very, very important, you need to know if you're charging by the hour or by the client, if you're going to be provided with any materials, if there's a guidebook, if there is some sort of when you're going to be paid, because a lot of these companies, they also pay bi-weekly or monthly. Also, the type of payment, because are we dealing with um, different currency, or will I be paid electronically? So there's like a lot of questions that need to be sorted out. And if you don't have a system of things and you're just dealing with one person, in a lot of ways, it could be you could be taken advantage of, because if you willingly give in your information, and this is talking to anybody, if let's say a lot of companies, what they'll do is that they will ask you to provide a photo or a description, and you willingly giving that information out, they then have the um, right to basically take that and apply it to like whatever they want. And in a lot of times, they will run scam websites or scam advertisements with your face and your description and say that you are tutoring when in reality you're not associated with that company in any way. So definitely be careful before you willingly give your photo or a description of yourself, because that's kind of what they were asking me. So basically, before the interview, they wanted me to send a photo of myself and a description of, like, basically my teaching services, right? So I did not send a photo of myself or the description until I basically told them, not until you give me my contract. And I had the interview on Saturday, and it is Monday, and I have not seen a contract. So, but that is not the only twist and turn that this tale has taken, because there was the final nail in the coffin for this. Because up to this point, you can argue, and I completely understand. Well, Mama Goose, because that's what you guys call me, and I really like it. Well, Mama Goose, I don't think it's really a scam, because it's just kind of maybe questionable practices, maybe not the most thorough. But, how can you claim this is a scam? They haven't done any scammy behavior. To this I say true, because I was in the same thought, and I was like, you know what? This is fishy. You see, Spee, I used your fish. This was fishy. However, not scammy. The final nail in the coffin for me in the interview, where I was like, here we are. This is where like the sus radars go, is that during the interview, they basically, the interview was, you're welcome. In the middle of the interview, mind you, the interview being 3 minutes, if that, she asked me about, I won't give like the name of the company either, because I wouldn't want to put them on blast, because by the end of it, I'm hoping to provide this information for you guys in case you guys would ever want to do any online like future, you know, business endeavors. You guys kind of see this pattern. Um, but basically, she, like, how do I put this? The first 3 minutes was asking about my experience and, everything I was, you know, doing in the past, and basically why I want to work for the company. And within 3 minutes, she handed me over like this was all in a virtual interview, to supervise another teacher and student, to kind of get an idea of like what it is that I would be asked to do, but with the teacher and the student not having any idea. Yes, yes. Like basically I was a fly on the wall and spying on these two people having a class with them having basically no knowledge, or like, it was the weirdest thing. I don't know if it was like pre-recorded or like this was like an infomercial. I definitely know that like two people were having a conversation, and like I prayed to God that they like knew I was there, like where their like boss gave them the heads up, but it felt like the creepiest thing because they could not see me, I could not talk to them. I was basically with the interviewer up to a point, like kind of, talking back and forth, but then the interviewer dropped off the face of the earth, being like, well, I'll just leave you here and, you know, consider yourself hired, and then like just left. And with like no um like I honestly even messaged her and was like, so do I just like stay here for an hour, like in like basically it was me. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. And after that I literally messaged her and it was like, well, I couldn't stay for the entirety of the class because I was like, this is weird as hell. Like I have a doctor's appointment, whatever. And she, instead of, and I asked her, I was like, hey, I really need that contract because, that was something that, you could have forgotten or this and that. She's like, oh, yes, like you can definitely have the contract. But the thing that you need to also, consider is that you need your $20 teaching fee before you can start teaching on our platform. I want you guys to let that sink in. So before you can see your teaching contract and teach with our company, please give me $20 because, or, and this is like the very, uh, very funny part, or you can teach 3 lessons for free and not have to pay the $20 to use our platform. So basically, work for free for the first 3 clients, and then surpass, like basically forget. Yeah, so it was so funny because up to this point, see, that's why I wanted to tell you guys, because they'll trick you, because they weren't using. Okay, so first sign definitely was that they were using Zoom. So the same basically technology that they were using to interview me is the same technology that they use to uh, hold classes. So Zoom basically is free. I can understand if they were using, let's say, like there's one company that I used to work for, and well, I wouldn't say work for the company, but I use their platform, Skillshare, or not Skillshare. Oh my gosh, Skimmatalk. Skimmatalk is really great because basically you're your own boss. You find your own clients. You work. Like the only reason why I'm basically not working on Skimmatalk now is because they buckled down on basically reapplying. Because at the time I had like a full time job and I didn't keep up with the hours and stuff. So I basically had to, uh, what is that called? Where it's kind of like you freeze your account and stuff. And when I went to reactivate it, it was like too late. And by the time that I wanted to reapply, it's kind of like with COVID and stuff like that, there was such a rush of people wanting to teach online that they're not accepting reapplications. But honestly, I'd be on that right now if I just wasn't in that situation because they were great programs. So, all to say that this program, all they do though is they pay you straight up front 2080. So you take 80% of like the hour that you book, and then Skimmatalk basically takes 20% of the whole price. But it's great because they literally provide you with the clients. They pay you every month. So it's basically an accumulation of all your hours and stuff like that. And the more that you teach, the higher you are in the algorithm. So more clients come to you. And then, yeah, it's great. And you're in charge of your own hours. There's no minimum requirement. So all you have to do is basically keep what it is that you um, book. So, for example, if you are teaching or scheduling like 4 times a week, and that's what you want to do that week, if somebody books you and you don't cancel it, then you're good as gold. The problem gets in when you start canceling uh, like classes or being flaky, or let's say students give you bad scores, things like that. Like by the end of it, it's something like where you just have to be committed to and not overshoot. Like be more balanced. And the lessons are very easy to teach, especially if you are a native speaker of the language that you've chosen. They have a lot of the lesson plans already there for you. You can be creative and actually plan your own. I did that for a while, and that was super fun. Um, and you get more clients that way. It is slow to start because I probably didn't start making like good money probably until 4 or 5 months after, because then I started getting like steady clients. But it's not a bad like side hustle at all. Like, if you even dedicate like 3 times a week or something, you can bring in a pretty good. But what a lot of these companies do is is that they use flattery a lot of the times to get people in. So they say things like, wow, like, look at your resume. Oh my goodness, our students are, they're gonna love you. And oh my goodness, we have and I'm telling you, when when they start bragging about like everything but nothing at the same time, like where, for example, right? They talk about how they have so much clientele, and like they have people just begging to like take their classes. But when you ask to see the lesson plans or you ask to see specific things, they say, well, we're still ironing out, you know we're still figuring things out. So we want you to we want to give you like the most updated like a version of it, so we don't have it like right now. That's when I say run, run, run. Have you ever had anything like that, Spee? Like, have you ever had crooked? And I'm telling you, I guess because yeah, don't look to Facebook. Lesson number one, for employment. Um, but it's definitely not my first like scam that I've seen, or accidentally signed up to. Uh, I don't know, man. Like any job. Oh, and affiliate programs too. Oh, good, good. Yes, I don't want to put that curse on you, please. Yes, that's what it See, I did that. I got desperate, Speed. Okay, I sometimes it's just something that the face of unemployment is a very scary one to look at. And I don't know, like, and it's true because Skim and Talk was something that my friend was doing at the time for like side hustle work, and so I had on good authority that it was legit. So if when in doubt, you're not sure if something is a scam or not, ask a friend. You know, see somebody who's worked there before. And if you don't know anybody there, if they're on Facebook, run. No, but I don't want to take away opportunities. Like, honestly, if they do send me a contract, you best believe I'm going to tell you guys about it. Like, I won't show it on here because I wouldn't want to, but I would at least want to update you guys on this, like, $20. I don't know. It's because literally I'm coming to you guys. This is what makes me laugh. It's like I'm literally coming to you guys to get money. And you think that I have money? Like, to spend like that? Like, this is the whole issue. Like, it's because I want to make money. I don't want to spend money. Or you can, yeah, it's either you pay me or you can just work for free. So, and literally, if there's no contract, and this is very important, all my art babies out there and all the teaching babies, anybody who is new to the employment phase, they have, keep in mind anything that you do, keep in mind that you have to be okay of them letting you go after. So, for example, if you go into a job and you're on a trial basis, don't do anything that you feel is free labor because it's basically that they have every right because you didn't sign a contract or anything to guarantee your space there, um, that you're totally cool with them either picking somebody else or oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, and that's why I'm a big advocate for volunteer programs because that falls under the umbrella of experience. Like, a lot of my teaching, so for example, like one of the best teaching things that I did was was my study abroad. So when I did teaching abroad and things like that, but also when I went more stateside, what helped was when I would volunteer at summer camps or in art studios, and I didn't get paid a cent in those, but I did get references and getting letters of recommendation. Those are your ticket. Like if you get a letter of recommendation from even volunteering, let's say at an animal shelter or anything that kind of shows that you go above and beyond. But I completely understand. There's, especially now, employers, they're asking for 4 years experience, 3 years experience. So I can imagine. Oh, speak to that you. What field are you in? I don't even know what field you're in specifically. Like what? Sorry, here I'm ranting on and on about like education and stuff, and I guess because there's part of me that, like, when I was younger, I would jump on an opportunity like that. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, they want me and all they want is for me." They just want cuz there's no problem with, "Hey, we want to see how you teach," cuz that's very important. If you have a supervision eye, like be like for them to at least shadow you while you teach, that's wonderful because they don't that shows like a quality of work because a lot of people think like, well, you're nice, so you're great with kids. It takes a lot more, so I always am comforted when there's at least some sort of caveat of being like, okay, yeah, you got the job because we think you're a good fit, but we're gonna keep an eye on you within like the first week or two just to make sure you're well prepared for the job, and then we're happy with you, which is great. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, like more computer like based. Oh no, that's no problem. Yeah, one of my friends, like she's into computer programming and stuff. Like that's her thing. She does a lot of work with virtual reality. Like the last time I heard from her, it was basically like a lot of so I know it's hard to explain where she works with companies to like basically iron out apps. So basically, where a lot of companies come to her team and like they come up with ideas and they're like, hey, like help me out. Like, how would I do this? Like, how can I create this? And then they kind of keep with the upkeep. So anything they develop, they also like hire teams like for the company. So then They don't have to, since they don't know like the ins and outs of it, it's almost like they do, it's like a company comes to them and then they train people to take care of that company. And so it's kind of something maybe like that, probably is completely different, but that's from what I understand. At least I know there's like more to like IT and things like that. Um, but I can tell you, I never thought like, well, I guess it's with anything. I never thought there was such a like almost drama like to job interviews and companies. Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. Like, I guess because since I'm new to the country and a lot of the jobs that I know of, they're on base like an hour away from where I live. I I've applied to those jobs, but the minute that like I tell them where I live, I get turned down for them. That's just like the reality. I don't take it personal. It's something that I would rather somebody be like, "Hey, you know what? We just can't afford to compensate you for um like your drive over here." And I would rather a company be honest about that than like like kind of string me along to to work for them and then like not give me the job after, cuz that's definitely happened. That's always super fun. Like I've literally had companies come up to me and it's happened before. So my favorite thing is when I have been like commissioned by people and like where I had basically whole sketches and concepts and things like that. And then, right when I'm ending, the final steps of updating them, then they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just can't afford it anymore." And that's like soul crushing. So basically, you did all this work and all this prep. This is why I always update like anytime I do take commissions. I haven't taken commissions in a while, but anytime I do, I ask for basically 50% upfront and then 50% at the end. So then we're kind of all squared away and then basically like a due date for those two things. And then I tell the customer like up to two revisions within the first and second update. So at least we're all on the same page. And if they're not happy by like the first step, definitely this is like something I've ironed out with practice because each person is, of course, entitled to not liking something or for a refund. If it's to the point where the person is asking for a refund, then in my head, what I do is I give them the refund and just give them a probation of like a couple of months. So then they kind of know that it's not like a repeat offender thing, because I've heard of that too, where there's some people who they request art and then ask for a refund because, they either really love the art or they got the piece and stuff and they kind of ask for it again and again. That definitely happens. Um, Especially if it's like constant requests. Like, I'm just saying that when it comes to artists and commissions and stuff, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Uh, because especially for traditional pieces, I haven't done digital requests yet. I have done traditional stuff, so like something like this, right? Like so, where it's like a small, medium, or honestly, I've never gotten more than like 9 by 12, because that's more than ambitious. No, and I've never really had anybody request. Like usually, I do small pieces like this, like I call them like their postcard size. So, like, I guess to compare it, it's like stamp, postcard, and like, yeah, because postcards like this, and then I guess envelope, like one of those like puffy envelopes. Like, that's really like, but definitely if you guys do ever do commissions, just take it slow. Uh, you know what? I have to actually look up like doing things internationally because we do have a post office near here. So I don't know. I might start that up again, especially that I have materials and stuff here. I might have to look it up though. just because I'm not sure. Because you guys have been very, very nice. And also, Spee, I'm sorry, like, I don't know if you saw, like, at least, just because I know it was lagging for you, if you have a request or anything like that, I was doing basically, um, like, art requests and stuff at the beginning. I'm not sure if you missed it. I'm sorry. I do like it. There's like, we don't even have to use face. You know what? I think I want to make like a sticker or something. That just made me laugh. Let me see. I'm gonna write it down because it made me laugh. Oh, okay. I will. I will. Right. That's what I was saying. It made me laugh because it's kind of like a quote. I think I'm gonna do that because we. Let me see. Quotes and we don't even have to use. Even have to use Facebook. I do. I want to make stuff that's like the inside jokes of our streams, is it? Because we have a lot. Like in my mind, even from the couple of times, like I keep thinking about the deer that you ran into, where it's like I'm thinking of like drawing a deer of like that doesn't want to take your test. Like I wanted to draw that, and then there's a another user uh who goes by, oh my gosh, I think it was Icy Water. I think they asked me to refer to them as Icy Water, and we were talking about like relationships and things like that. And they said a phrase that was super funny, where I think it was something about like TED Talks or they were talking about. Oh, see, this is why I have to like write stuff. I'm writing stuff down from now, guys, so then we can have our own inside jokes. Because if you don't think I want to make like either stickers or something, if I find out like I have a functional post office near me, like we can make really funny like stationery or just stickers. Okay, take your time, take your time. Okay, I think I want to make this one a little lighter. Yeah, I'll probably put that for the stream request then. We don't even have to. But yeah, guys, don't think that every company is out for your best interest. It's like it is. It's a big world, and don't want to see you guys, especially if by any point like a company feels that like you have to like you owe it to them, you know, like, oh, you know, you need to like pay to be here. It's like you owe it to us. It's like, no, you're there because like you're providing a service. A lot of times clients, yeah, of course, they like come for a specific idea, but by the end of it, you're the one who's creating it, you know. So don't be discouraged. Don't do anything that you feel like you're being used, you know, especially things like providing your image. And, you know, by the end of it, uh, those clients, you know, they may stay with the company and, uh, but by the end of it, they're coming to you for help and for guidance. And if if you stay with a company like that, I think in a lot of ways it's kind of like you're taking advantage of the students too, because they're trusting you. And um, for me, I just refuse to be in that kind of um, like environment, like where it's kind of like it doesn't have like the structural like black and white, like, oh, okay, like, you're going to guide your students in this way and that way, and we're going to make sure, like, there's things in place, like, that's best for the student. That's kind of like what I, as an educator, that's what I would want to provide. Um, where I would want to work for a company that uh, has these kind of precautions to make sure that you give them like the best, like the best quality of an education, because they're trusting you with their time, and they're investing in you. So I don't see the problem of, at least the very least, like having some sort of progress report, or like something that'll make sure that you're not just basically like goofing off for like the better part of an hour for no reason, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, considering that they just took one glance of my resume and they say, okay, you're in, now give us $20. Like, what? Like, really, the only credential I really had to fill was giving them a piece of paper and another piece of paper, and then that's it. I'm in. Like, I would not want to, like, if I had a kid or I had a friend and I knew that's like all the credentials that, like, nah, like, you know what? You better off using Facebook. Just use Facebook on your own. Like, there's like good educational material out there, especially when it comes to language learning. Jeez, like, now, is there a point where it's like, yeah, you're gonna need help? Like, that's the thing. It gets to a stage, like, cause I studied Japanese for, I want to say, on and off, like 3 years. I'm horrible, like horrible now, because ironically, I'm the worst I've ever been, because basically we're in a part of town that caters to Americans. So there's a lot of things that I don't have to really try that hard, because they have English there, and a lot of people, they've studied English. So I kind of feel like, yeah, I feel like very lazy like in my studies currently. So, but there is a point in your education where you have to have somebody to practice with, and somebody to push you and make you feel uncomfortable, and, like, push you to learn a little bit more. And, like, if you don't have that, you're just kind of throwing money away. And especially a lot of these people, they do, um, especially like adult learners, they're there because they want to learn more English for their jobs, or a lot of them, they're going abroad, to improve their education. And those are the last people that I would ever want, um, to like take advantage of, because they really need somebody in their corner to help them out in a transition, a very big transition in their lives. I guess because I already had clients who were going through that, and their company was pressuring them to take these classes because they wanted them to be prepared. So I felt a responsibility to help them out and to make sure the tests that they were taking were, you know, like they were fully prepared. And I know a lot of people, they make fun of me just because they're just like, "Oh my gosh, you think too much about this. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a job." But I don't know, for me, and when it comes to language, or things that are really important, like, I don't know, like, I just can't in good conscience, like, just, have somebody, like, let's say, hire me, like, at minimum once a week, to teach them something, and then I'm not fully prepared, or I'm like half baked, like, like I'm basically going in not prepared, and not, um yeah, I don't know, it makes me kind of sad. I guess because in my own education, I was very fortunate and very lucky to have, like, extremely intelligent men and women to guide me and push me and do all that stuff. So you can blame them. This whole rant is their fault. They were horrible influences. That's why sometimes I go on these rants. They are to blame. But yeah, there is, especially on the internet. It's a big bad world out there, guys. There's See, this is why I talk to you guys, because sometimes I feel like I go through these things and I feel silly. And I feel like, oh my gosh, why does this happen? Like, do I just attract crazy? Like, or also I feel like very picky, like where I'm just not, um, like I should just accept it and not think about it too much. But honestly, it's messed up. Like, I don't agree with it. On the internet. Can that be a phrase too? Oh, thank you. I like that phrase too. I like that a lot too. Oh, good. I'm glad. I guess that's what I can at least feel a little better about. Like at least it happened for a reason and now I feel a lot less icky about it. Like, oh, good, good, because that's what we're building. We're building a community of people who trust each other and at least like we have like somewhere chill and uh things that make sense at least twice a week. Oh, but I'm so sorry, Spee. I must leave you because my fur babies are a rustling and my hour is up. However, please take care of yourself. And oh yeah, wait, how's your art challenge going? I'm so sorry, I didn't even ask. How rude of me. I must know about your art challenge. I feel like a horrible uh, goose mother now. Oh, good! Yay! I know you were having a little bit of a hard time with the bigger piece, right? I bet you're kicking butt. You're too hard on yourself. Oh, you did? Okay, I promise I'm gonna look at it. Um, oh yes, that's right, because you gave me the link to. Actually, can you send it to me um on Instagram? Because I have it here on my computer, but I know that as soon as my hubby, I surrender like the computer to my hubby once more, like I won't see it for hours and hours as he vanquishes uh, foes and demons uh, on League. So I won't have access to it because I have it here like saved on the computer, but not on my phone. So please send me your DeviantArt, please, once more, so that I may witness your greatness. Oh no, don't worry about it. It's honestly, it's been a little rainy over here, and do not worry about it. Just whenever you can. Just, it's all cool. I'm sorry I must leave you right now. However, we will speak again on Wednesday, and then I would love to hear an update, and yeah, Wednesday we're probably gonna do something digital, or I'll give you guys a walkthrough of the piece that I'm gonna do. I'm kind of debating on both. So, oh yay, okay, that's no problem. Oh, same here, same here. I'll keep you guys updated on Instagram on what we're gonna do. So, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and that the fishies taste good, and that please be careful of the dock. Now I'm scared that you're gonna fall through a dock. But yeah, I'll keep you updated too on what I'm gonna do with the catchphrase because that made me laugh really hard. So I'll keep you posted. Bye, Spee.